Hi folks, welcome back to the shop. I'm going to do a quick video for you today, a couple of shop updates. I know it's been a while since I've done anything, been really busy with life though. I've added some hard compressed air lines in the shop using mostly PEX and some old fittings and things like that. I'll show you that in just a second. I also want to show you a cool new tool that a friend of mine made for me. He's a machinist, and it's a double-sided marking knife, double bevel, I guess you should say, marking knife. It's very, very neat, beautifully done. I'll show you that in just a second. Let me take the camera off the tripod so I can show you the compressed air system, and then we'll get back to the marking knife. Okay? Okay, guys. This is the workbench side of the compressed air hard piping. You can see the blue line coming in there. That is PEX, just happened to be what we had. And what you see here, I'll zoom in for you just a little bit, is there is a filter there, because on this side I'm going to be running an airbrush at times and some other stuff. There's an old Lincoln air regulator behind the filter and an old Marsh gauge right there beside that, on top of that. The old Marsh gauge works very, very well, so does the Lincoln regulator. And then there's a quick connect right now. I've just got a little air hose hooked up to it so I can blow air. And the system is powered up. I'm losing just a little bit of air somewhere. I'm not sure where, but I suspect it's in those screwed fittings right there. So I'll get some soapy water and spray on there and just see where the leak is, and then I'll fix that. I just haven't had time yet. But anyway, I made a bracket to hold the regulator. You can kind of see right there, hold the regulator and all that stuff there. Made some brackets. The pipe just goes down the wall there to a T. And up from there, down is just a little drain, so if water collects in that line, you can drain it out. And then it goes way over, you can see way over there to the corner of the shop. There's a shutoff for that line right there, ball valve. It goes down underneath the table. Forgive the train layout in here, that's what's under the plastic. There's the compressor down there. And another line runs underneath the table here all along the way. It also has a drain where you can drain off the moisture, and then here is the other side. This is also another Lincoln regulator and an old Marsh gauge with a quick connect on it, and this one does not have an air filter on it. I didn't feel like I needed it on this side. It's just mainly for doing tires, basketballs, that sort of thing. And that particular Marsh gauge there reads a little higher, although I can't get anywhere near that 300 psi, and you can see here too where it's reading a little low right now. But that regulator there works like a charm. Very, very nice little bracket there to work for it. So now I have the compressed air to either side of my shop. My compressor is a little too small, but I use 3/4 inch piping to help create a little bit more of a reservoir. And again, I'll figure out where that leak is and fix that at some point. Okay guys, here's the marking knife. And for those of you who are not familiar with what a marking knife is, well, it's exactly what it sounds. It's a knife, and you use it for marking off joints, lines, that sort of thing. My friend Jeff, wonderful machinist, has made this for me from scratch. I love the sheath there. This is a quick and dirty sheath. I'll make a proper one at some point in time, but this is what he just sent it to me with, and I just left it for now. But this is a double bevel marking gauge, and I'm going to zoom in and show you for sure. So what you see here is, if you can see the light reflecting off, it's double bevel, so there's 2 bevels on there. That means it can cut from either direction, whichever way you want to do it. Now the back of this knife is perfectly flat, and it comes down to a nice flat surface with the our sharp edge here with the points. Very, very nice. And then Jeff made a nice brass ferrule for it and a little turned handle to put on it. So these are really great. Let me show you a couple things you can do with them. Okay, so of course what you can do is to mark a line. So you have your square here, and you put your square across here. I usually do it this way. And you want to mark a straight line across here. You can use your knife, and because it has a flat on the back, you put the flat against your square, and you just go right across there, and it cuts really, really nice. one thing to note is about these beveled marking knives like this, there is a waste side and there is a clean side. So if this is your joint, this side here would be your clean side, or your actual keeping side, and this would be, say, the tenon side, or the side you're cutting away. So this would be the waste side over here, because it is going to bevel the wood just a little bit this way. But you know, you can use it in either direction. If you are, it also works, I found, really well for dovetails. Hold on, let me get a little drawer I'm making. Okay, so like this little drawer, you can see these itty bitty little dovetails on here. So the way I usually cut my dovetails is I'll cut the tails first with my handsaw. I'll gang them together, cut both sides first. Then I'll lay this piece, the piece with the pins and the vise, and clamp it down, lay this on the edge of it, and use the marking knife like this, and you can run it right along the edge here of your tail and mark onto the pin board. Then, because you have it double-bladed, double-sided, you can flip it over and mark just this way. So some of these that have just one bevel, you have to have two knives because you can't get in there and cut. But this works both ways. Just flip it around either way. Works real well. Another thing you can use them for, let's say I got this piece of wood right here, and it's got a little fuzz on the end from where the saw was. I know you really can't see that, but you can take this knife here and you can run right across there, and because of its flat bevel, its flat back, you can get right along the edge, and it's angled there, so it makes a beautiful flat cut just like that. Cleans that joint right up just as nice as you please. So that's another good use for this marking knife. Still one more use for the marking knife. I made this little leg here for a fellow I used to work for, and it had a rabbit on it here, and that was fine, but there was a little bit of junk in the corner. So you can take this marking knife and just go right along here and shave off some of the junk. This is a long one, but you can do it this way, or let me get my arm out of the way, or this way. Yeah. And again, because of that nice flat back with the two bevels coming to it, you can get right up against the joint and make that nice and clean, and just clean it up. And I have just found this little knife to work great for lots of different uses. I keep finding different uses. Jeff told me I'd have to sharpen it when I got it. But you know, the thing is razor sharp now, so I don't really know what he was talking about. I might put it on the 6,000 grit Waterstone at some point in time and clean it up. But these are readily available, commercially made. If you see Lee Valley has them, I know they have them. Woodworkers Supply probably has them. Highland Hardware sells them. I don't know exactly how much they run. I haven't, priced them out. But Jeff made two of these. Made one for him, one for me. So they're really, really beautiful tools, useful. If you haven't got a marking knife, I would highly suggest getting one. Makes woodworking very, very nice and easy. Not nice and easy. It helps marking these joints out nice and easy is what I should say. Much better than just a pencil line, which is imprecise for sure if you're doing delicate joinery like those little dovetails over there. So double bevel marking knife, very, very cool tool. Highly recommended. Y'all have a great day. I will try to get back to you soon. I'm making some picture frames. Going to use some old wood. This is some antique chestnut here. This chestnut is very, very old. At least 100 years old. You can see it used to be wallboards. There's some paint flecks on there. I'm going to clean this up, although not too much, and make some rustic picture frames out of them. So that's an upcoming project. Maybe I'll do a little video on some of those rustic picture frames and how we're doing those. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.